Hi everybody. So I come for this book. Now we're obviously the first beer, right? We're gonna. Can I have your attention, please? It works. Awesome. Thanks. So, yeah, my name is Lefto. I come from Germany. I'm working for Trivago for the last like 4 years. And during those 4 years, I've been dealing with a lot of shit. Sorry, asterisk. There's going to be a lot of cursing. I hope they're not going to mind us over here. Yeah, so Trivago, what we're having right now is around 55 platforms localized in 33 different languages. And today we're going to see about one interesting story about Trivago UK. Yeah, and we're going to learn about some really expensive learnings. Why is our logo like that? I swear we don't have green. Really expensive learnings. So what I want you, bear with me for a moment, close your eyes, really close your eyes. Think about what could be the worst thing in your life that could happen as of an SEO. You're close enough. Keep that in mind, right? Let's see. Let's have that. If something can go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. It will. Murphy said that, and he's right. And I was kind of new back to those days. In fact, it was just a couple of months after I started for Trivago, and one day I went to the office and I opened Sales Metrics and thank you. Thanks. So I opened Sales Metrics and I said, like, well, something doesn't go right. Huh? We're losing around 77% of visibility, which results in around 16% of visits convert for, when was that? October to September. I was like, maybe, okay, what we're looking over here, we identify particular patterns in terms of the ranks where we lost. And the fact is that we lost pretty much everywhere, every kind of page up that we have. Whether that was like a destination page, whether that was a home page, whether that was a hotel page, right? So we're like, okay, maybe, let's see, we have penguin over there. Maybe it's a penguin. So the problem was like for Trivago and also for the history that I heard somehow, we're doing a lot of link building with widgets. And back to those days, Google were like, don't do link building with widgets. But we're like, maybe we can just keep it a little bit longer, huh? Yeah. And that's what we thought after next week was after we got the ranks back with the visibility. Huh? We're like, we're fine, right? We're Trivago, we were a little bit of, let's say, we're exceeding our comfort zone, but we're like, we'll just keep it, we're fine, nothing happened. Okay. The thing is, things left to themselves tend to go from bad to worse. Yeah, actually that, it can be really bad. It can be like that. So you're going back again to the office and you're like, actually before you go to the office you have a lot of emails and you're like, something doesn't, later, I'm just gonna switch a little bit longer to the bed. So you go to the office and you're like, fuck, that doesn't look right. You're like 83% losing of visibility, which results around 31% in visits, and that's a very nice way to start your year. Huh? That was February, I think. But what happens over here? We have payday loans. We're not in these needs. We're like, okay, it can happen, and it's not our stuff, but we have Panda. Now, take a moment and think about that. Trivago, what we're doing, we're comparing hotel price, right, for other OTAs, other partners, and stuff like that. So in general, every platform more or less has around 2-point-something million of pages, which results to around roughly 1-point-something million of hotel pages. As you can imagine, the content over there is syndicated. It can be Expedia, it can be Booking, it can be pretty much everything. So now you're like, well, now, is it the content? Now we have to address that. Before it was a penguin, maybe it's a backlinks, so now you have also content. That doesn't go right. And the thing is that we saw again the same pattern in terms of where we were losing more of the rankings. It were the hotel pages that were hit the most, because that's where you have the majority of the duplicate content. Like, okay. But the thing is, they're not free, right? If you don't like the situation, you can just change it. That's the thing. And trust me, no one was liking that thing, because when you get that kind of publicity, then you have your MD talking to you or emails floating around, and you're like, oh shit, what do we do? But here's the thing, you can use that for momentum. As long as you have traction at that moment, you're like, hey guys, let's just wake up and realize one thing. We can't continue like that. We have a lot of issues to address. It's the backlinks, it's the content, it's the platform, it's a lot of stuff. Let's just focus. We're losing money, right? And since we're talking about SEO, time is money, the longer you're waiting for something to happen, the longer it's going to take actually to see the results. So we're like, okay, first thing first, backlinks. What do? End of story, no more widgets, no more anything. Focus on one thing and only. Clean things up. Then it was like content, right? You have to address that. Think about more than 90% of all the pages that we had were totally duplicated. So let's take a moment and think about what's the actual value that we're providing to our users. Well, they can find information in Expedia and anywhere, whatever. Right? So what is the point for Google to rank us? Believe me, no one was getting that point back that day, but when they saw about the revenue, they were like, okay, let's deal with that. So always keep records, because records can help you go down to the point directly. And for us, it was like, with the backlinks, we knew exactly what kind of backlink we had, where it was coming from, what was the anchor text, what kind of follow, no follow, within the script or whatever, everything. So we're like, first thing first, do the cleanup over there. Then it was the content. We knew exactly which pages had unique content that we wrote for, like the travel guide page, or the destination page, or the hotel pages. Whenever that was like syndicated from another partner, what kind of let's say hotel description was it about? That saved us a lot of time. So for you and for your clients, whatever, for your department, whatsoever, keep records of what you're doing. Whenever it's like in Jira, Confluence, whatsoever, it's going to help you tremendously to deal with the situation. And not only that, it's going to help you prove what you did in the very end. Because you have a starting point, and you need the end point. So we're like, okay, we're cleaning things up. The disavowed file, you can imagine that back to that point, was around 2,000 domains. We just throw them out. We're like, clean everything. And we started at the same time doing different kind of tests, because we had to prove the concept that content matters. Content is the king, but how much investment you need to put over there, how much it's gonna get you back. So we have to quantify that. To try a line and say, that's a saturation point. Up to here, we have to invest, because other than that, more than that, we're just throwing money to the bin. Nothing's gonna happen. You don't get your money back, right? So a lot of tests were happening in different kind of platforms, trying to prove the entire concept, get some learnings out of that. And yeah, that was, I think, what's a bit of that? I think here was another pandemics. I might be wrong. And it gives you some kind of hope that things might actually look a little better. But the thing is, you get to that point again, and you're like, shit, no! You're back and you're like, that's for sure, content sucks. We don't have something over there, we need to focus on that. We have to address it, because yeah, you can fix things with the backlinks, you can clean things up, but what happens after? What happens after? So here, another interesting point was like we lost rankings again on a particular kind of combination of pages. It was hotel pages, right? And it was a destination pages, a city actually. And what do we get out of that, at least for us, because of the site architecture that we're having? A city, right, always links directly to top items, top hotels, and the hotel links back to the city. We're having a flat hierarchy, but we're playing around with that thing. So we're like, imagine us of a pyramid. You have the top, you have the roof, you have the foundation. You lose the foundation, everything collapses. That's how it worked for us. And with continuous tests that we did, actually we get to the point where we prove that's how it works for our case. So we have to put more emphasis on the hotel pages if we want to make also money out of that, but also from the destination pages. So quality is not overnight, it's a habit, right? Whatever you're doing out there, it needs to be for a reason, and not just, okay, let's just please the bot out there, let's just play a little bit with the game. Let's manipulate the rankings, but in the very end, the user can't judge you. All those user measures, indirect ranking functions, all the rest of the stuff, out of the volume, they can affect you. So we're focusing again, we said, okay, continue cleaning things up. Just clean everything. We cut down a lot of the communication with the webmasters, because the fact is, if you have, let's say, toxic backlinks, if you have very hard commercial anchor text, even if you communicate with the webmaster, it's going to take so much of time, and usually it might be, you're going to get a feedback, yeah, give me $20, I'm going to remove it. I don't want to deal with that shit. Just disavow for now, because as you remember, time is money, and we're losing a lot of money. So this is how far was keep growing. Back to the time, I think we had more than 10 to 12,000 of backlinks, domains, sorry, redomains that we just killed. And that was one, let's say, process that I was putting employing. Because I forgot to mention one thing. It wasn't only the penguin. It was something that we saw in webmaster tools, which is manual actions applied. Right? Now, you don't want to see that thing. You don't want to see manual actions and algorithm and add an algorithm. A bunch of algorithms on your domain. Yeah, I had that face actually. I had that face. So, more content for the queen. So, what do we want to do with that? I can tell you it's very expensive. So, we improved the concept with continuous tests that we did on other platforms that they didn't have any kind of problems with algorithms that they were dealing with. So we proved that, you know, the destination guides for the cities and whatsoever actually brings you value, and it can get you to the point of 10 to 5 or up to a point. Depends, don't take this number for granted. But also can help you by optimizing your item page, your hotel pages, improve indirectly your path, your destination. Because again, you strengthen your foundation, and that thing reflects up to the top, up to the roof. So over here, what we did, we were like, you know what? We need to invest. The question was, how much do we need to invest? Which were the question as of an answer was, which hotel pages were generating money for us? How much did we lose over there? So more or less, we were like, okay, looks like that combined from all the rest of the channels, branded queries, right? DEA, display, SEM, or whatever there else it was. We saw that we made a list and we said, okay, sorted by revenue base, here are the top hotel pages that we need to optimize. And what we optimized was around 15,000. And 15,000, you can imagine a little bit the cost was too much. So you had the stress on your back and you were like, God, it has to work. Why do you have to work, huh? And the thing is, it really doesn't matter how slow you go as you continue going. Because you might have a lot of distractions, a lot of fights or arguments within your department, other departments saying like, okay, we're doing that, we're optimizing, where are the rankings? And I remember myself saying a couple of times, well, let me just call someone from Google and ask them to press a button to release up Panda or whatever, just to see if it's going to work. But yeah, I don't have time on it. So if it is to take something from here, focus on what you're doing, really, yeah.
How many reconsideration requests did you have to do?
I'm going to tell you it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. Yeah.
No comma.
Huh? What's that? Okay. So you need to keep focus on that. Right? Keep moving forward. No matter what others are telling you, no matter if it's like your MD asking you, okay, where we're going to see the money, or it's like your line manager saying, okay, what we're doing over here, do we track this? Do we see something happening here? I can tell you, a lot of nerves over there. It can be very chaotic. But the thing is, if you do the cleanup, if you send the reconsideration, and when you're sending the reconsideration, you really need to show to some people, because there are going to be people reviewing the reconsideration, that you really suffered. You went through everything, you went through hell, and you totally regret that thing, and promise that you're never going to do that again.
Was your successful reconsideration request was the one that crossed up your previous SEO agencies, was it?
We don't do with agencies, sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was a previous guy before me, and it was a strategy that we were following during the years, which was successful back to those days, and it got us pretty far. But yeah, when we did the reconsideration, and also when Penguin kicked in, luckily we were to the point right in time, and everything somehow worked. Now everyone can sound like and say like, yeah, it might be not the reconsideration, it might not be the Penguin, it might be whatever. But the truth is, you have the facts, you know what you cleaned, you know what you optimized, you know everything. That's why I said keeping records of what you're doing is very, very, very important. Because when it comes to timing, that's where you can cast out your efforts and go back to your whatever minds and say, well, we invested, I don't know, 500 hours, we invested a couple of hundreds of thousands of euros in content. Look what's happening, huh? Awesome. How many millions do we make out of that? And the best part of that was like the platform, after continuously updates from Google side, was building some kind of, let's say, immunity. Let's call it for that, huh? It was much more resilient to the updates. We didn't see any down. Instead, it was improving, continuously improving the rankings. And the traffic was coming in, and the money were increasing, and everyone was happy. But that which does not kill us make us stronger. Well, yeah, it can happen. It can be another day in the office, and you're gonna see something like that, and you're like, oh shit, core update, Fathom update, oh, you're kidding me. And you're like, and the worst thing is when you have people asking you, so, did the content work or not? And you're like, I'm gonna come back to you on that. Wait for it, I'm gonna come back to you. So the very first thing that you can do, or at least I did in that day, was like, well, you know what? I was very sure that whatever we did, it worked, and it couldn't be that we were hit from Google. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we can't blame Google for whatever the shit is happening out there. You just need to go to Google and search for your brand name. And you can see, for example, over here, UK showing up, snippet, out of google.com. UK showing up, cycling, out of .com. And you're like, what can happen? So you go to the Search Console and you see the index pages, and you see a very nice down here, and everyone's like, woo, I'm snowboarding. And then you're like, okay, that's not normal. What happened? Then you combine the logs, as you said, huh? That's amazing. That's amazing. Because one fine day you just go to the sysadmin and you tell, you know what? I just need the logs of the last month. And he's asking you, are you sure? Oh, maybe, I don't know. For that kind of website, it can be gigabytes. So big query, over there you just throw everything in and you start playing around. But that's another thing. So what you see over here in the columns, it's the total amount of call hits that we have on the platform. But here what you see on the line is how many times we actually end up redirecting Google code. It was an amazing idea of redirect. Let's just, Google is crawling UK, why do we need UK? Let's just show.com. Because fuck you, we can do that. And you're like, okay, so someone screwed up. Now, since you load everything down and you go to Jira and you say, let's see, redirect. You just typed in and pop up in the next task, and it's like, yeah, I was laughing. Who was laughing? Yeah, I was laughing as well. I was like, oh, you're gonna see me at your desk. So you just go over there, you get your laptop, you get your charts, you get everything, and you just go above the product owner's head and say, well, I have news for you. I'm losing money. And guess what's happening? I saw that you did this task over here. People might challenge you, say, are you sure? Are you sure that's because of what I did? Well, you have the logs, you have the proof, you have the records. you then put more pressure on their shoulders and say like, please don't do that again, and I'll fix it. That fix went in less than an hour live. But the thing is, the damage was done. And it takes a lot of time to get the pages scrolled back again, put them in the index. But when that thing happens, things are looking much better. It took us like 6 months to recover and get back to the previous state that we were, but we managed to do it. So for us, it's like, it was one kind of a learning. I mean, we screw things up with the link building, we screw things up with the content, then it was the technical, we're like, okay, what else? Amazing, can't go any worse. So the thing is like, yeah, it's not that the strongest of the species that survive and the most intelligent, it's the ones that are more responsive to change. Like, you need to adapt in everything, what's happening, but you need to think about it, think outside of the box, just step out of your system. It's like, why is this happening? Is it again Google? It can be yourself. So I would just want us end with this thing, just of let's say flow. You can do the Google updates. If something goes wrong with your website, you can just look at it. Moz has a very nice logo of what's happening. Guru and other tools are having that. But there is one source of information that it's amazing. Right? I'm not talking about Webmaster World. I'm talking about Black Hat forums. The thing is, as psychotic as these people are over there, they tend to see things first before anyone is in the industry. They get to see the signs because they are playing the dirty game. So go you don't need to sign up, just observe. Then Search Console, it's free data you get from Google. Is it the indexation? Is it the manual actions and warnings? Is it maybe, I don't know, you're blocking Google from crawling you? Maybe, I don't know. Might happen, something. I'm not saying anything, but it might happen. You're looking at your intelligent changes, your logs that you're having. Who did what and when? Timing is again very important because you can relate things that are happening. Server logs, the source of everything, you said that. The source of everything, you put some time there, even if you don't understand, get your sysadmin, ask some very smart questions. How many times did Google crawl the logging area? Is there a reason for Google to crawl the logging area? Hell no. You don't make money out of that, unless you do. I don't know. Maybe. Then create an action plan. Start. What's the current situation? How you're going to deal with it? What's the time frame? How fast you need to go? And keep going with that. No matter what, really, no matter what. I need to search that out. No matter who says what, best practice whatsoever is the best practice in your interest for your website. You need to set that thing out. Don't get things for granted. So stick to your fucking plan and do it. At the very end, measure the success. Say, I started from here, I lost that much, I gained back here. So you invested X, I made 5X. Here's your money, done. Thank you.
But the important news is that the food comes out in 15 minutes.
Let me in or let me go. Honestly, try honestly.